looks like we got some very fascinating leaks and news about the other generations and apparently how these may actually come to the Switch 2 in the future. So I've always been yapping about the classic collection. I've been wanting Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire to come over to the Switch 2, and the reason why I'm saying the remakes of those generations is because of the fact that Fire Red, Leaf Green, those are the remakes of Gen 1. Fire Red, Leaf Green are not the first games ever made, they are the remake of Gen 1, and they're great, they're fantastic. I just started my playthrough yesterday, so I only got like an hour in because your boy fell asleep, but it's very fun and I can't wait to finish that game. Let me know, did you guys get Fire Red or Leaf Green, and what starter did you pick? I picked Charmander myself. I was gonna pick Squirtle, but I'm like, you know, I feel like I just gotta do it. I feel like I just gotta go with Charmander, especially since I usually do actually pick Squirtle. Anyways, guys, we did have an internal data mine that showed us, well, Ruby and Sapphire, which is very interesting because those are Gen 3. So if we have Gen 1 and Gen 3, you know, you could only assume we would have Generation 2 mixed in there as well. And the theory that I've been talking about, been yapping about forever now is, okay, what if we did have all of the remakes of Gen 1 through 3 over onto the Switch 2, because Fire Red, Leaf Green, like I said, those are the remakes of Generation 1. Heart Gold and Soul Silver being the remakes of Generation 2, which debatably some people say are the best Pokemon games ever made. And then Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, those are the remakes of Gen 3, which would be very cool, especially the fact that, first of all, Fire Red, Leaf Green, if you want to buy these secondhand, they're like $150 or something for an authentic copy. I know you could emulate it or like buy a fake copy of it, but yeah, that's an authentic copy price. Same with Heart Gold, Soul Silver, those games are so expensive on the secondhand market for an authentic copy. Ruby, Sapphire, and especially Emerald are very expensive as well. Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire honestly aren't too bad in comparison, so you know, if you guys wanted to play the Gen 3 remakes, I just think that makes sense, and especially if they dropped it every 6 months. Imagine every Pokemon Presents we get, they would announce / drop the next one. So we typically do get a Presents, it feels like about every 6 months ish, like not specifically exactly 6 months of the date, but like it's that rough estimate of 6 months, right? So we always go on February 27th for Pokemon Day. There's always a big Pokemon Presents, and then we typically get one in the summertime, so like June, July, or August. So that would be like roughly 6-ish months. And imagine they dropped Heart Gold and Soul Silver, or even just Gold, Silver, and hopefully Crystal, right? I think that'd be very cool, and obviously I would still want to replay either one. I prefer Heart Gold, Soul Silver, but I don't know. I feel like they just like ignore Johto for some reason, so maybe they're just gonna completely ignore Gen 2 as a whole. And then just imagine maybe the next Pokemon Day, literally in a year from now, which would be another 6 months from the point of Gen 2, they drop the Gen 3 remakes, Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, or just Ruby, Sapphire, and like I said, hopefully Emerald. I'm pretty sure most people would probably go with Emerald. So with all that out of the way, let's talk about the leak in the data mine that we have. This is from Yakumono saying, I don't plan to talk much about how Pokemon Fire Red, Leaf Green Switch version works, emulation wise. I still did a little look through, still using Sloop as the GBA emulator. The ROMs are actually heavily modified and rebuilt. Seems to have heavy code changes with reliance on emulator hacks. Do not ask me questions about the specifics of those changes. I don't know and I cannot be bothered to look any further. I'm not a Pokemon fan. The only other information I'll put out is that the emulator explicitly recognizes ROMs of Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald alongside Fire Red, Leaf Green. I found this alongside the initialization code that is related to enabling emulator hacks for specific games. And then Central Leaks just also adding, according to Dataminer, Fire Red, Leaf Green releases from today internally have compatibility for Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, meaning those could come in the future. Like I said, I just think that this would be absolutely insane if they just went straight to Gen 3 and ignored Gen 2. The only way that this would be acceptable is if Project Karasu is actually a Johto game, like a Legends game, or I guess maybe a remake again of Generation 2. Maybe like a Let's Go style. I mean, that's like very controversial. People either hate Let's Go or they love it. I swear there is no in between. If you guys are brand new, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. Help me reach my goal of 50,000 subscribers, and so you don't miss all new Pokemon leaks, news, and updates. Anyways, let's get right back to it. Here's the thing too, if Fire Red, Leaf Green do very well, I can 100% see them doing Gen 2 and 3. I mean, what would be even cooler is if they actually eventually did Gen 4 and 5 as well. I just don't see that happening because I don't know if those games are old enough. Yeah, I mean, Gen 4 low-key almost is old enough, but the thing is with Gen 5 is that game is not too old to the point where I guess they would bring it over. Plus, Gen 5 remakes are the next in line for remakes eventually. Not really anytime soon, but I actually do have another video about that very soon, so let me know if you guys have any thoughts and theories about Black and White remakes. I'm gonna bring this up because I'm sure there's gonna be someone that's wondering. Legend ZA was not a remake of Gen 6. That's a completely separate game. It actually follows the events of X and Y. So Pokemon Gen 6 hopefully we'll still get a remake, but that would be years and years. Like, I'm talking probably 15 years down the line. But if Fire Red and Leaf Green sell a lot of copies, they're totally gonna put Gen 2 and then eventually Gen 3 over to the Switch/Switch 2. And of course, the price for Fire Relief Green, they're $20, which, I mean, I don't think is that bad. I actually do think they could have charged $30 and people still would have purchased it. I know it's more than what it used to be on the 3DS, because the 3DS, I believe it was $10, right? Like $9.99 or whatever. So, I mean, so let's think, just like about, what, 10 years later or so, $20, I would way prefer a physical copy. But at the end of the day, I think Nintendo could have totally asked for more money. All things considered, especially with Nintendo and their pricing with like $70, $80 games. Honestly, let's not even get into this. So hopefully if they do these Gen 2, 3 remakes, I hope they would not be more than $20. And now I don't want to be too repetitive because I actually made a whole dedicated video to this, but we do have that DS screen patent. That's a real patent that Nintendo owns. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're actually ever going to use it, but basically this would allow us to play DS games over on the Switch too. I kind of don't think it's ever going to happen. I don't know if they could figure out with like the battery life and stuff like that. But imagine we do eventually get like Pokemon Gen 4 and 5 over to the Switch. I guess this would have to be 2 specifically, the Switch 2. And then we were able to actually play like a DS. Bro, that would be crazy. I just wanted to bring that up. Of course, you could also say 3DS as well because it has the dual screen. But either way, I would just absolutely love to see Gen 2 and 3, especially since I haven't played Gen 2 in a long time. I recently did play Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire about a year and a half ago. Fantastic games. Absolutely amazing. I loved those games. Let me know, guys, what is your favorite Pokemon remake? So far, you could say Gen 1, 2, 3, and 4. Believe it or not, I actually have never played Heart Gold and Soul Silver. That is the next Pokemon game that I really want to buy. Actually, I want to buy Emerald. I swear I had it as a kid, but I don't have it anymore, like, with me. So I really would love to play Emerald again on my Game Boy Advance because I actually did do a screen swap, so the screen looks fantastic on it. So I really want to get some games for it, and I really do want to play Heart Gold, Soul Silver. But unfortunately for me, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and Emerald are so expensive. So I don't know if I could be buying those anytime soon. And I also do want to bring up, as far as remakes go, Project Karasu is apparently a remake. It's a Pokemon remake. It's going to be a mainline game during the Gen 10 lifespan. So, meaning this game was probably minimum coming out 2028, maybe 2029 even, because Generation 10 is coming out next year in 2027, which I have a whole nother video about because we actually did get some more news and details slash potential kind of small leaks about the release date of Generation 10. It might actually shock you because it seems like it's actually shocking me right now. I'm thinking about it, I'm like, this is insane. So maybe Karasu is going to be some sort of Johto remake, like I brought up earlier, because we have the leak from Ball Guy, and it's a Murkrow, which Murkrow is from Generation 2. Although that doesn't necessarily confirm it's Gen 2, we still don't know exactly, but I cannot wait. So make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss all the news and updates on that game, because that just dropped a couple days ago, and it's insane, because that was not from the Terra Leak. If you guys are wondering, Karasu is not Terra League related. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your ideas about a Pokemon Classic Collection or just ports. I mean, I'm kind of using the term Classic Collection a little loosely here because it seems like one of those things that eventually over time it technically would be a Classic Collection. I would always prefer it on a physical copy though. No matter what, I just want a physical copy of Gens 1 through 3 or 1 through 5 or whatever the heck it may be. But you know, within the next like year and a half, if we do eventually get Gens 1 through 3 on the eShop, I'd be happy with that because it would just be fun, especially the remakes of Gens 2 and 3. That would be fire. But let me know your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching this part of the video. I appreciate each and every single one of you guys watching these videos and just showing some love. Make sure to join the Discord down in the description down below. It's free to join, and Nintendo and I actually do have a giveaway that we are gonna more officially announce soon. It's gonna be taking place in the Discord. If you were real and watching this far in the video, comment down below. Flame, just the word flame. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.